What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I am back with another video. I'm on my way out the door as we speak, but I said let me do a bit of things on my pocket. So let me do a video on this because it's crazy. People like to claim I'm a crackpot. I spread misinformation, and don't get me wrong, I do get my troll on from time to time, or I may give you my opinion with a comedic delivery, if that makes any sense. But there's always some truth. First of all, my opinion can never be wrong. But there's, when I report a story, and again, I make these stories up on the internet. You didn't leave a link. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop. There's nothing wrong with you motherfuckers' fingers. But anyway, I did a video last week and said, the sales of the PS4 Pro weren't that spectacular in Japan. We're talking about for new hardware in your own country, they sold less than 64,000 units. Oh, that's great. But and people said I was bugging, I was trolling, and all these different things. So, how you say, men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie. So we got some more numbers in. We're talking about a console that came out last week on retail, a brand new console, the PlayStation 4. And I said this, and I talked about it in the podcast, several shows, like, is Sony, the hype train, finally, slowing down? Even on Amazon right now, the Xbox One S is outpacing the PS4 Pro. And you guys are saying, wait till the PS4 Pro comes out, it's going to crush, it's going to crush the Xbox One S. Look on Amazon. And I don't know what other country, somebody here in North America. But I said to this, I said, what if, like the hype train for the PS4 Pro was slowing down? And I've always said this since the start of this generation, that most people are going to own both consoles at the end of the day. They're going to own both consoles. People are going to have the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. They're going to own both. But also, too, like I've been saying, the PS4 has been met with lukewarm, reviews. And like I said before, Sony needs to kill the 4K talk and just give us 1080p 60s and with a higher graphic fidelity. People waiting, for long, to get the hand. What's new hardware? We're talking about 4.2 teraflops. That's a lot of mustard on the hot dog in the console. Besides, and I've always said, resolution does not give you better graphics. It gives you a sharper image, but what it does is them same jaggedy, raggedy edges and shit that was there in the regular version, they're more detailed now, so it actually makes it look a little uglier. So I said, and when people were saying, just give us 1080p 60, and I think, nah, like these jokers, like you guys is bugging, like 4K, give me 4K, give me depth. And those guys were right. And I have 4K, every TV in my house is 4K, literally, and let the console upscale to 4K, being real, and give us better graphics. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So week 2 sales in Japan between all of Sony's the PS4 family, because they counting the PS4 Pro, the PS4 Standard, and the PS4 Slim. Three hardware SKUs in Japan. Sony was only able to sell 34,000 units. Now this is not coming from EG charts. This is coming from Media Create. 34,000 units. Well, how many of those were the PS4 Pro? 11,000. Launch week, you sold 64,000. And your second week, you sold 11,000 units. And I told you guys in my video, I said, is there a problem? Because normally, even when here in North America, now I do expect the sales to exceed 60, maybe a couple 100,000. But to me, like I said, it's a telltale sign. Maybe there's some issues, problems, because the console's not sold out. Normally, when I don't give a what it is, when the Xbox One S came out, or whatever the case may be, it was sold out. You know what I mean? Different stores, or was sold out. I was still able to walk into Best Buy even to this day and pick up a PS4 Pro if I want one. Like this console is yet to sell out, and is the PlayStation hype train finally slowing down? Because they look at me wrong. They were far outpacing the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2. I mean, they've done record numbers, 40 million units shipped or whatever. And again, that's why I say, what I mean. And we had this whole debate this generation. Well, Microsoft has only sold to customers. Well, Sony sold 20 million. Like, come on. I've always told you, and I said, and again, I told you I have a little mom and pop store. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, when they sell consoles to retail, they consider that a sale. They don't get paid twice. They don't care. Well, I'm not saying they don't care, but if it's up to Best Buy and Target and Walmart to offload the stock. They don't give GameStop and these places stock, for free. No, they cut the check. They send them they ship them the hardware. That's the sale. They all deal with ship numbers. And even when you come down to MPD, even that number is not even correct. For many years, check it out, even for many years, Walmart didn't participate in the MPD for many years. I don't know about now, but, for many years, Walmart didn't participate with the MPD, But like I said, they go, like I said, was shipped to retail, was sold to retail, and the retail turns around and sells it to the consumer. But what are you guys going to say now? I'm trolling again, and it's crazy. Like I wasn't even bashing the PlayStation 4. People get so defensive when you just talk about regular stuff. Like you talking about, see that box behind me? I own a PlayStation 4 Pro. Now again, I'm not saying in Japan the sales are not that great, but I think I'm not saying that the console is not selling, that it's flopped. It's not doing well in Japan, but overall, I was expecting, and I think probably Sony too, because don't get me wrong, like Sony, they're not the best when it comes to business. And I say this again, Sony made a big mistake by releasing the PlayStation VR, the Pro, and the Slim all within a month's time of each other. What Sony should have did was release the PS4 Pro in, in November, and came out with VR around the time with the Switch or whatever the case may be. Because you've got all this different hardware on the market. You're talking about for the Pro alone, for the PS4 VR, that's $500. The VR, which listen, a peripheral costs more than your console. Let's be clear of this. The peripheral costs more than your quote-unquote Pro. Something wrong with that. Now, I say that to say this. We are what you call the hardcore. We don't bring these companies any money. It's not us. It's the casuals. And the fact that Sony doesn't have any must-have software for this quote-unquote PlayStation VR, you can say what you want about the Kinect, but it was $150. But they had Kinect Sports, Just Dance, what may have appealed to the casuals. Sony doesn't have that must-have software. They don't have that Candy Crush or whatever you want to call it for the PlayStation VR. You know what I mean? And you're asking a $500 price tag. And the reason why I say $500, because it is, or a little more, because you need the camera, you need the Move controllers, and the standalone unit is only $400. That's not including the Move sticks and the camera. And even if you do have a camera, who the fuck still has their Move sticks from the PS3? I mean, I don't. I threw all that shit away, But again, I said it to say this. What are you guys going to say now? Now, this is not me kicking Sony. I was just trying to have a healthy conversation, and I said those 64,000 units wasn't really, we talking about in your own country, new hardware. You guys had all these excuses and saying that, why? No, that's good. Those are good numbers. Now what? This is just the second week of this console's been out. 11,000 units. Between three SKUs, between the PS4 Standard, the PS4 Slim, and the PS4 Pro, they were only able to sell about 34 to 35,000 units. You look on Amazon here in North America. The Xbox One S, this is even excluding Black Friday, the deals that Microsoft got going on. The Xbox One S is outpacing the PS4 Pro. But Shall I digress? I want you guys to enjoy your holidays. This is your boy Next Gen 720, and as always, bang bang.